Welcome to the third session of the workshop titled Dalcroze Rhythmics as a multitask activity. As we mentioned in the previous sessions, the Dalcroze Rhythmics pedagogy has multiple applications and ways to work the mind and the body in when we have an interplay of the executive functions of the brain. Since the beginning of its creation, Emil Jaques-Dalcroze used his music teaching approach to work with different types of persons, either with small children who start their music training, also with the education of professional musicians at the Geneva Conservatory, also with older adults, with seniors, and also with persons with special needs. And up to this day, we have different ways in which the Dalcroze approach can be applied. And through time, it has been discovered through scientific research that it has multiple benefits in different areas of the human life. For example, in the prevention of cognitive decline in older adults, for example, also in the strengthening of memory capacities, or in the strengthening also of muscular coordination and dissociation and so on. Those are benefits besides the music itself. So in terms of the work with the population of older adults or seniors, I have done some research about that with different groups of older adults in the city of Monterrey, Nuevo León in Mexico. And I found out very interesting things about that. I would like to share with you two different videos, short videos of small parts of the intervention that I did with different groups of older adults. In one of them, you can see the persons who are having a lot of fun and are responding to different types of music. They're distinguishing different types of chords, for example, and in another one, they're following, they're improvising free movements with a piece of music. See, and in the other session, they're following the pulse of a specific piece, and I'm going to share the two videos, and I'm going to put on the screen which is specifically the activity that we are working on each one of them. And after you watch those videos, and we are going to do some exercises that they can be applied either to population of seniors or to beginners or either to professional musicians. And we are also going to work on a specific metric that we have not done in the past two sessions. So let's watch the videos, and I invite you to observe very well what those people are doing and how they react among themselves. las manos y vamos a caminar conmigo. Sientan la duración de los pasos. Ahora agregamos las manos. Now, I would like to share with you some games that are a lot of fun to do with a balloon. See? As I've said before, the Dalcroze pedagogy works mainly with the body. Our body is our musical instrument, and therefore we seldom use other objects unless those objects are used to enhance what we would like to learn or to teach in a specific session. For example, the drums. Another thing that we use is the balloons or scarves. For example, right now we're not going to use scarves. Sometimes we use hoops, those plastic circles that you can just walk inside or move through them, or you can do lots of things, but right now we do not have time to do that. And a very useful and non-expensive way to work with, and also not harmful either for small children or for seniors, is the use of balloons. So if we take a balloon, a very fun exercise to do is to pretend that the balloon is another person, see? And pretend that we are following that person that we have in front of us, and then we can start walking and watching the balloon and direct our steps, our movements towards it. And then I move to the back, and then to here, and then I stop, and then I direct my eyes to the balloon, and I move and just follow. See? And the balloon is just an excuse to direct the movement and to focus the attention, see, into an object, in this case the balloon, so we can free the attention of the self-consciousness of, you know, I look funny or I look awkward or whatever, and then we focus our attention in the balloon and we move. So I invite you right now just to small experiment and take, if you have a balloon, wonderful. If not, just take whatever object you have handy, and let's do that exercise. I'm going to show a little bit more and try to experiment with space as much as you can. And do not lose the balloon. Always follow the balloon. Your eyes have to follow the balloon. You can take it with both hands. All the repertoire of movements that you encounter. An experiment, and maybe put it against the wall and rub the wall with it. Just do whatever you want with the balloon, okay? So I'm gonna play a little bit of music, see? And let's experiment a little bit with music and try to follow it with your object, hopefully a balloon or something very light that you have that you can carry with your hands easily and that you can move with. Okay, so I'm gonna move to the piano and play. please take your balloon or your light object and follow the music. Please leave your balloon, put it aside, and listen to this music and try to follow the meter. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you which meter am I, and please just try to follow, moving the way you wish. So if you listen to the meter, I hope you could discover that it's clearly on 3/4. See, it's a waltz. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. This is a meter which we have not worked on in the previous in the previous sessions. I'm going to demonstrate right now with movement, which is the most effective way of doing it in order to follow where beat 1 is and to feel the accent of on beat 1. So I'm going to move away from the piano and demonstrate a little bit. The meter of 3/4, it's an irregular meter because number 3 is an irregular meter. We have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and sometimes for the persons who are not experienced with movement, it becomes challenging to do the meter of 3/4. So what I recommend is to work specifically strengthening beat 1, because if we think in this case of a waltz, see, the beat 1 is 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. In a meter of 3, 4, the accent or the support is on beat 1 is 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And in the case of the conducting, as we said that in Dalcroze Rhythmics we conduct in a mirror fashion, beat 1 is always down, 1, then 2 becomes out, and 3 up is 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. First, before we do the conducting, I would like you to please try to walk. I'm gonna take a slower tempo, and we do 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And if you watch, the weight on beat 1 always falls on the same feet. If I start with my left hand, it's going to fall always on my left. 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No, sorry, it falls. I'm sorry, it falls one measure in each foot is 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And let's practice a little bit and just do 1, 2. Let's feel the 1 and 1, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 1. And we're feeling the 1, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. You can practice, and you can also 1, 2, and pretend that you're pushing something on beat 1 and 1, 2. And if we had someone, other people, we could find one partner on beat 1 and 1, 2, 3, and reach out to the other person on beat 1 and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1. Okay? Now, if we would like to add the conducting, how can we do that? Okay, let's do the same thing, but now with 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and now my long step is in the other foot, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, and always alternating the feet, 2, and 1, and I look to the front, 2, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 3, and 1, 2. Okay, I'm going to play one more time at this tempo, so you can, so you may experiment with walking and conducting in a meter of 3, 4 with this movement, and you can do it backwards, okay, or you can do it sideways or in circle, whichever way you wish. Okay, so I'm going to move to the piano. Let's start. This is our meter, our tempo. 3, and then just 1, 2, 3. That's only the only thing you please do is walk long, short, short, and feel that you go down on beat 1, and please keep conducting. I'm going to continue playing only one note on beat 1. If you get lost, you listen to the melody, and when you listen to the melody, to the note that I play on my right hand, you have to be down. If your arms are somewhere else, that means that you're lost on the meter. Let's do it one more time. Is 1, 2. There we go. And okay, great. So now we're going to do another exercise to practice this meter of 3/4, and now we're going to take a little break. Now, if you, for the ones who were standing up and walking, you may sit, and then let's do some activity to reinforce the meter of 3/4, but seated. I'm going to move outside the piano so I can demonstrate that. Now, if we sit here, as we said, on a meter of 3/4, well, in every meter, beat 1 is very important, but here is, I think, is more important because it has a very characteristic accent or feeling of support, because we clearly feel the yam, pam, pam, like the down, and also if we watch people dancing a waltz, it's very easy to know where beat 1 is. So another way to practice that is to be seated on the ground or on a chair, and maybe with a pair of sticks, we could either put the downbeat in our lap, for example, or in the back, and then put the other two up, so we can feel a yam, pam, pam, y pum, pa, pa, and then we can place the beats in different parts, pam, y pum, down and up, down, up, up and down, up, up, and then find different ways and places where we can put beat 1, yam, pam, pam, e pam, pam, e boom, pam, pam, e ching, pam, pam. Okay, that's one thing. And also a similar exercise that I mentioned in the first session, I believe, is that you can pass either the balloon or a ball or an object in a circle, only on beat 1, chum, dan, dan, and then you're passing the ball, tam, bim, pira, pam, pam, pira, pam, Pira-pam, pim, pararam. Pira-pam, pim, pam, pam. Pira-pam, pam, pam. See, and always that the ball, for example, falls on beat 1 on each person. Suppose that we have a circle of people right here, and if we pass the ball or the balloon on beat 1, it's very important to show the length of the measure. Remember that we have talked about that in the other 2 sessions, that we have to work with the space. So if we have 3 beats that we would like to show, then the ball must show the road that it takes. I tell my students, just draw a rainbow. You have to draw a rainbow like toom, dun, dun. You're drawing rainbows, bim, bam, and then the ball falls on beat 1 on each person, and one more time, and then we, the teachers, can say hop, and then when we say hop, the ball goes the other direction, or we can follow a phrase when the phrase changes. See, the challenge with this is we have to be very careful about the amount of people that we have on the circle, because if we have an uneven number of persons, and if the phrases are even, or then it works fine, but we have to be careful that the change of direction of the ball or the object doesn't always fall on the same person. Otherwise, it's going to become very predictable and boring. So the challenge is that the change of direction happens with different person every time. And also we have another ways of practicing that. We are working only with meter. And remember, I am not following the sequence of a regular lesson. I'm just showing a variety of exercises that can be done with different types of or levels of difficulty. And another example that we could do to work the meter of 3/4 is with a ball, with a tennis ball. I like tennis balls a lot, and it's a different game, but we are reinforcing the same activity. For example, if I take this, if I sit like this, see, and if I want to stress beat 1, which is the longest one, if we think it that way, we may ask our students to experiment and to find ways of showing the measure of 3/4 with the ball, and just let them experiment different types of movements to show. And then you can watch what each person does. And then maybe you can invite someone to show his or her movement in front of the group, and then invite another person, and so on. And maybe later decide which is the best example of movement, and then all the group does the same one. Or one person can show the movement, and then the group repeats, and then another person shows another movement, and then repeats. And that's another important feature of Dalcroze rhythmics, to have the experience of a soloist. And in those type of exercises, the soloist is the person who shows the movement in front of a class, and then the rest imitates the type of movement and shows a different one. For example, I like this one, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1. It doesn't have to be this one, but this is an example. 1, 2, 3, and 1. For example, another one could be yam, bim, bam, 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 yam. I am combining leg with hands, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so on. See, for example, this last one was not that effective if we think about it. Why? Because I did the beat 3 down, and if I show with my gesture that the beat 3 is down, then it could become confusing. Always beat 1 is the longest one, and if I am showing beat 1, if I want to show that beat 1 is the natural accent of the meter, then it should be the only one that goes down. The other ones go in the air or go up or somewhere else except down. Okay, so now I would like you to experiment that. I'm going to play an example and another small waltz, and I would like you to please experiment with a ball, seated whatever you wish, on a chair or on the floor, and experiment different kinds of movements that you could do with the ball to show a meter of 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to move to the piano again and play some music for you. I'm going to take a slow tempo, and again I'm going to play only one note on the melody on beat 1, so you can easily follow the meter and experiment with your ball or with your object, or pretend that you have something, or maybe if you're near a kitchen you can grab an apple or an orange or whatever that you can have on your hand. So you could experiment with your ball in different ways. Now, I would like you to please watch another video that I recorded some time ago as well. And I am myself playing the piano, a waltz that is called April Roses, and in Spanish is Rosas de Abril. And the composer is another female composer from my hometown, Monterrey, and she was called Leonor Flores, and she was her nickname was China, Leonor China Flores, because she had a very curly hair. And she used to compose in a very traditional way, sort of salon music. And this is a very nice waltz, and it's not in a very fast tempo. And I would like you to listen to the piece and try to find where beat 1 is. Be careful with the introduction, and there are some sections which you may find a little different, but try to follow as much as you can the beat 1. Only find beat 1. See, for example, you may clap, 2, 3, and you can be sitting on your chair and enjoy the piece and just clap on beat 1 and listen to the entire piece, okay? And then we're going to do another exercise with that piece. Now that we have found beat 1 on these waltz, and we listen to it, I would like you to please listen again to the piece, but now we're going to do the following. Remember that we have talked about the use of drums, and then we can do a game in which we find, this one has to be standing preferably, in which we find beat 1 in any place, we find 1 and then walk on 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3, and 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 1. I stop on 1 and walk on 2 and 3. And if don't have a drum, don't worry, just clap or do whatever you want. And the challenge is just to clearly feel the 1 and do 2 small steps on 2 and 3. And remember to carefully listen to the introduction, which is it's in a slightly different tempo. And if you get lost somewhere in the piece, don't worry, just stay and listen, and once you find your way, once you find beat 1, then continue yum, da, yum, and put the beat 1 in different places and try to use the space in as many ways as you can. Okay, now let's play, let's listen to the piece again. And let's try to do this exercise, and I will be observing you and then making some comments later. Thank you. with this last exercise that we did with April roses, where we found bit 1 in different places and then 2, 3 up. Now I would like to finish this workshop, this 3-session introductory workshop, and I would like to make a little summary about all the things that we worked on during the 3 sessions. As I said at the beginning, the Dalcroze pedagogy is a music teaching approach which is student-centered and person-centered and is addressed to the 5 dimensions of the human being. And it has a triad of key elements that are worked and internalized in every session and in every teaching learning session, which is time, space, and energy. And we have talked and done some exercises which show the way how it's done. Another feature of Dalcroze Eurythmics, as I have mentioned, is the fundamental use of the human body. That was the most important innovation that Jaques-Dalcroze did at that time when he created his approach. The use of the human body as a musical instrument, and that is what distinguishes Dalcroze Eurythmics from other teaching approaches. And also the use of creativity and improvisation, which is one of the cornerstones of the pedagogy. And the facilitator or the instructor directs the session from the piano, improvising the music according to the needs of the group. And as I said before, also the social aspect is very important because we all enrich one another from the interaction with other people, and that is not possible when it's done in isolation. Of course, the principles of the Dalcroze pedagogy may be applied to individual lessons, individual instrumental lessons, but the essence of the approach is social, is in a group. And as we said, we talked about the different ways that we move in the sessions, and we did a little bit of inner hearing exercises. We learned a lullaby from the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, and easy melodies with pentatonic scales or with pentascales are a very good source to start with inner hearing exercises. Also, we worked on how to improvise or how to create different kinds or examples of movement or repertoire, to build movement repertoire in the participants of those sessions. And I would like to invite you to deepen your practice and experience in this wonderful music teaching approach, which I believe is the most effective way of teaching music at any age, at any level. And well, I hope you have enjoyed those sessions, and it was a pleasure for me to be here with you. Thank you very much.